7 and 103.7 WTIB present Talk of the Town with Henry Hinton. News, sports, and community information and everything that's going on around town. Now, with Talk of the Town, here's your host, Henry Hinton.
All right, happy Monday, everybody, and welcome into Talk of the Town. It's good to have you here on Monday morning, February the 17th. It's President's Day. Some of you may have the day off, but probably a lot of folks who thought they were going to have the day off, they probably have to work because of all the snow. Although, are the banks closed today? I don't think they are they?
I'm not sure.
Is this a federal holiday?
We'll find out.
I don't know either. Good to have you with us today. This is going to be a fun hour because we're going to learn something. There's a front page article in the Daily Reflector this morning about this controversial thing. There was an editorial over the weekend in there. The new city council, which was sworn in December, on Thursday night, passed a motion to repeal the new rule on allowing landlords in the university area to rent to 4 unrelated people. And this city council has passed a vote 4-2 to start the repeal process, which could take 60 to 90 days. By the way, banks are closed. I just got a text.
I just saw that.
The new city council that's just been elected wants to repeal the 4 unrelated rule and go back to only allowing 3 unrelated people. Now, a lot of people think that's unfair to students. There are a lot of land. In fact, it's really interesting. The mayor, I just read this article this morning, and the mayor actually said he was concerned about lawsuits because one of the things that was actually, and I believe it was Marion Blackburn. Marion's out in the lobby. We can ask her when she comes there. I believe it was Marion who actually made the motion to try to halt all future permits to go to 4 unrelated effective immediately. But it's got to go back through the planning and zoning process and all that. And, of course, some of these landlords have borrowed money now based on this new ordinance and owe money to the bank based on, renting to 4 people. And they would be caught in a little bit of a buzzsaw with their banks and that kind of thing. That motion failed, but the move is moving forward to try to repeal this rule to allow 4 people to live in one house as opposed to 3. The Tar River University Neighborhood Association has come out against this 4 unrelated rule. They've been against it from the beginning. They say that it is contributing to the denigration of the neighborhood, noise, parking problems, etc. The people who argue with them on that and say 4 unrelated means that more students will live in there versus Section 8 housing and things like that, and crime will diminish. Well, we haven't had really probably time to have any significant data. I'm not sure how many months it's been, but it's been months, not years, since this rule actually came into play. And so, this city council is moving forward immediately to try to kill this thing. And so we're going to have a debate about that this morning. Marion Blackburn from the city council is here. She represents that area from District 3 in the city. And Jim Blunt, who is one of the landlords and business people here in town, and a friend of mine for many, many years. Jim's a good guy. We're going to have a spirited but fair and positive debate about this, as it appears that this thing is going to move forward here very quickly by the city council. So stand by. We're going to start that in about 10 minutes. So we got a lot to do here this morning. McGee is here. Good morning, McGee.
Morning, Hen.
Congratulations again to our winner last hour in the Dream Kitchen giveaway. Will Brown from Farmville is now qualified to win that $20,000 kitchen giveaway. Home Fest 14 is now less than 2 weeks away, a week from Saturday. We're very excited about that. Carly Swain is at the news desk this morning. Good morning, Carly.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing well.
Nice to see you. Everything going well?
Yeah, pretty good.
Out busy this morning. Were you on TV at 4:30 this morning?
Of course.
I didn't get up that early this morning.
Monday through Friday.
What time did you go to bed last night?
I was
worried about how much sleep you're getting, Carly.
Sound like my doctor.
Well, it's true.
No, it's you adjust is the thing. Sundays is always because you're kind of just like getting back into like starting to get towards the edge of what your circadian rhythm should be.
Yeah.
So Sunday, but actually I went to sleep really easily last night around like 6 p.m. So pretty good.
So do you have like a normal sleep pattern on the weekends, or do you go to bed early still? Or
The weekends, because I'm a bit of a hermit during the week, just to make sure I, can stay pretty
Right.
on target and keep the dog on a schedule and everything too. The weekends, I let it go with, whatever I need to go do or people I want to see. Just kind of make it work, because that's when you really can. So
the life of a morning television anchor.
Heather has mastered it, let me tell you.
I think what ends up happening over the years, I did morning radio in my 20s. I've always done morning radio, it seems like. There have been years where I'd go through maybe a 8-9 year stretch where I didn't do morning radio, but I've always kind of been. And so after a while, what ends up happening is you just become a morning person. My alarm goes off every morning at about 5. But it's crazy. I will wake up like 5 minutes before it goes off every morning. I just got some body clock in my head.
That'll just do it.
How does
It's
that
kind of
work?
nice though, just in case it doesn't go off.
All right, let's get things going with some news headlines this morning. I want to save as much time as possible to talk about this very important and controversial issue before the Greenville City Council right now. 10 minutes after 8 o'clock. Our news and weather update this hour brought to you by Homer Tire and the Homer Tire Real Estate Team. To the WITN News Desk now, and here's Carly Swain.
Good morning, Henry. About 30 degrees if you're stepping outside this morning in Greenville. Big news for today. A woman originally from our state in Dunn, North Carolina, charged in one murder, now says she is responsible for many more. Miranda Barber dropped that deadly bombshell during a jailhouse interview in Pennsylvania. The FBI now saying it is willing to help step in and investigate the claims by this 19-year-old. She's originally charged in a Pennsylvania murder case, now saying she's killed more than 20 other people. Barber said in a jailhouse interview with the Daily Item in Sunbury that she had previously killed at least 22 people across the country as part of her involvement in a satanic cult. Barber and her husband are charged with killing a stranger they allegedly lured through a Craigslist ad. Attorneys for both are now seeking psychiatric evaluations for those clients. Final arguments are expected today in the murder trial of Amanda Hayes. That's happening in Raleigh. Hayes is accused of working with her husband, Grant Hayes, to kill Kinston mother Laura Ackerson in July of 2011. Hayes has said she did not kill Ackerson. Grant Hayes convicted in September of her murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility for parole. Amanda Hayes could face the same penalty if she is found guilty. House Majority Leader Eric Cantor will be in North Carolina today as he's headlining two major fundraising events supporting David Rouser's campaign for Congress in North Carolina's 7th District. He will first visit Wilmington today before making a stop in Duplin County. The two will travel to Warsaw for a reception at the home of Wendy and Del Murphy. The Murphy family is best known throughout the state for their major success in pork production. The pair will also hold a joint press conference where they're going to discuss the issues facing southeastern North Carolina. And a quick note today, if you're interested in ferries, the state DOT holding more public hearings on a proposal to apply tolls on previously free ferry routes and raise prices on others. Those meetings start today. Today's meeting is in Morehead City. Tuesday, they're in Southport. Wednesday in Hatteras. On Monday, the 24th, on Ocracoke. The 2-hour hearing on Knott's Island actually became pretty heated, the crowd speaking out against the tolls. State lawmakers have mandated that new ferry acquisitions be funded through tolling, advertising, and concessions. New or higher tolls are proposed for all 7 of North Carolina's ferry routes. New tolls would range from $1 for a pedestrian to $28 for large multi-axle trucks. The average passenger vehicle would be charged $7. Annual passes also would be available if that passes. That's a look at your WITN News Update. Time now is 8:12. Henry, back to you.
Thank you, Carly Swain. Now go get a nap. First, go do Thunder Country's news. Then go get a nap. All right, let's check our weather update now. Man, we are looking for some nice weekday weather starting, really today. It's going to be sunny today. It's actually going to be very warm, unseasonably warm this week. Here's McGee with our weather forecast.
Sunny today, but chilly still with a high of 47 degrees. Cloudy skies for tonight and a chance of a late shower or two, possibly overnight with lows in the mid-30s. Now temperatures creep up tomorrow into the mid-60s under partly sunny skies for the afternoon. For tomorrow night, a few showers possible during the evening, otherwise lows in the low 40s. But a 40% chance of rain for your Tuesday night. Wednesday, a few morning showers are possible, but that should clear out for the afternoon, and highs getting up into the low 70s for Wednesday afternoon. And for Thursday, more clouds and sun. Again, highs in the low 70s and lows in the upper 50s.
All right, news and weather this hour, a service of Homer Tire and the Homer Tire Real Estate Team. We're now midway through February in 2014. And, of course, Homer and his team are kind of picking up where they left off at the end of 2013. A record sales year for Homer Tire and his team. They really poured it on toward the end of the year there and ended up with selling maybe the most homes in the history of Pitt County for one real estate firm. It was pretty amazing what they ended up doing. And, of course, it's all because of all the things that they do. If you list your home with them, they're going to sell it. There's no question about that. I mean, it's very rare that they don't sell a home. If they don't sell it, there's some reason for it. And, of course, the economy's better now. That helps. But Homer and his guys track every prospect that comes into Greenville through all the technology available. They use the internet. They've got all sorts of systems that I've just never seen before. Pretty amazing stuff, really. And if you are looking to sell your home, why not take advantage of that? Because they also have the fail-safes, which is, number one, if Homer doesn't sell the home by the deadline and for the price that you need it sold, he'll buy the home from you himself. And that's a Homer Tire guarantee. And the other Homer Tire guarantee is that you're not going to be hung into a long-term contract like you'll get hung into with some of the real estate agents that want to hold you to a 6-month deal. You're 3 months into the deal and you don't think they're doing what they're supposed to do, and you want to get out of it, and they say, well, we got a 6-month contract. Not Homer. He'll let you out of the deal if you want out of it. No questions asked and no obligations. So here's how you get up with him. 758-HOME, 758-4663, or you can visit him online at guaranteedselLNC.com. That's guaranteedselLNC.com. That's sell, like Homer's going to sell your home. All right, coming up on 16 after 8 o'clock. We've been talking about it a lot, and we knew that it was going to come up after this new city council was sworn in, the potential repeal of the for unrelated rule with regard to the Tar River University area. Is it a big deal to the people in this community or just to a few? That's the question that we need to answer. And what's it doing in terms of helping with crime or deterring crime? And is it unfair to students? Is it unfair to the landlords that own in that area to change this rule back now to allow only 3 unrelated people to live in a home when some of the homes are 4 and 5 bedrooms? And so we're going to talk about that. City Councilwoman Marion Blackburn, who made the motion to change this back, and Greenville businessman Jim Blunt, who is vehemently opposed to changing this rule back, will debate this issue for about 30 minutes here coming up. Stay with us. More talk of the town, and our For Unrelated Debate is next.
Join us for HomeFest 14 Saturday, March 1st at the Greenville Convention Center. Talk with local home and garden experts and enter to win a $20,000 Dream Kitchen Makeover. HomeFest 14 on Saturday, March 1st from 9 to 5 at the Greenville Convention Center.
Many people in eastern North Carolina suffer from diabetes. The question is, can the disease be managed before it causes harm? Are there lifestyle changes that can help prevent it in the first place? And can a health system really make a difference? At Vidant Health, we are empowering people with tools and resources to detect and manage chronic disease. Can diabetes education and management help members of your family lead healthier lives? The answer is definitely yes.
Only the best music. Here is a track from Out of Sight.
Sorry.
Oh, hey, and check out that new look from Pepsi.
I don't know why, but today I feel a little bit different. I feel like I woke up this morning and I can change the world. I can change the world. I guess it's true, yeah.
Top Dog Academy is Eastern North Carolina's complete dog training facility. Top Dog provides an excellent environment for dogs of all ages with training services and work week daycare. Top Dog is located on Highway 43 South, just 4 miles from Bells Fork, and features a comfortable, healthy environment and a spacious facility for daycare and a brand new, beautiful facility for training. Call 752-8215 or visit topdogonline.com.
Come on out Highway 43 South to Top Dog Academy, where we know dogs.
Is coming up on March 1st at the Greenville Convention Center from 9 to 5. Super excited about the show. One of the reasons is because Ferguson's is going to be there again. And Nancy Ann Beeman, who is a showroom consultant, is here to tell us what you can expect to see at the Ferguson booth at HomeFest 14. Hi, Nancy Ann.
Hey, we're really excited. We're going to have all kinds of things out, from all the greatest lighting looks to your kitchen accessories and kitchen faucets, sinks, all the way to your bathroom, anything you'd need to remodel your bathroom.
So building or remodeling, you can come to Ferguson's and get everything from start to finish of all the appliances, fixtures, and everything.
Yeah.
And you'll see a lot of that at the HomeFest, right?
Yeah, you can sit with us, and from your plumbing package to your lighting package to your appliance package, we help you from start to finish, or work with your contractor.
Great. Come out to HomeFest 14th to see Nancy Ann and everybody from Ferguson's at their booth at the HomeFest 14th on March 1st.
Join us for HomeFest 14 Saturday, March 1st at the Greenville Convention Center. Talk with local home and garden experts and enter to win a $20,000 Dream Kitchen Makeover. HomeFest 14 on Saturday, March 1st from 9 to 5 at the Greenville Convention Center.
Okay, welcome back. Talk of the Town, Monday morning, February 17th. Everything's working, we think. We had some TV audio problems this morning, but I think everything's good. And here we are at 20 minutes after 8 o'clock. Good to have you back here on Monday morning. The question about what to do about the Tar River University neighborhood in Greenville has been the subject of conversation at the city council for many, many, many years. There have been all sorts of programs that have been put in place over there. And I believe it was 2012, the Greenville City Council decided to change course and allow 4 unrelated people to live in a rental home. There was opposition to that, and there's been discussion about it. It became an issue during the city council election campaigns last year. And last Thursday night, a motion was made and passed by the Greenville City Council to change that rule back from 4 unrelated people to 3 unrelated people in this area they call the UNRI overlay area, which essentially is the Tar River University neighborhood, the area between 5th Street and the Tar River, which is north of the East Carolina University campus. We're going to talk about that this morning, and it's going to be the subject of a couple of shows this week. So actually, we're going to have a little debate here this morning, and then the guys on Greenville Grit will be debating it also and talking about it on Wednesday night at 6:30 on here on 103.7 and Cable 7. But this morning, I'm really happy to have 2 points of view on it, and 2 folks that have differing points of view, and we're going to talk about this issue and try to flesh it out a little bit and get both sides of the issue out so the citizens can decide. Marion Blackburn is here. Marion is a city council person. She represents District 3, where this overlay area, the Tar River University neighborhood, is. She made the motion, I believe, am I right, to change this rule?
I did.
On Thursday night. And my friend Jim Blunt, who I've known for many years, who is a local businessman, and Jim owns homes down in this area. Jim, so this is an area you're very interested in, and you've been trying to encourage the city council not to change this rule back. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
Good to see you both. How are you?
Doing well.
Doing well.
Thank you both for being here. I'm calling this a debate, but it really is going to be a discussion. But I think you guys have different points of view, so I think we can kind of debate it. I don't really have any format in mind. Let's chat about it. Let me start with you, Marion. The Tar River University neighborhood area is an area that has gotten so much attention, I think, personally, too much attention from the city council over the years. And now here we go again, looking at it again and trying to tweak it without a whole lot of information yet. How many months has it been since this rule went into place?
Well, the rule has been in place for 14 months. And let me just say that Jim and I agree on a whole lot of things, and so I hope we'll have an opportunity this morning to indicate some of our common ground. But the rule's been in place for 14 months. It was first initiated, and it's continually been a top-down kind of process.
Not to interrupt you, but was the rule passed 14 months ago? My question really is, how many months have we seen that, since people have been allowed to rent to 4 people?
The rule was actually passed, I believe, in October of 2012. When you look at all the administrative details that take place, and the panel associated with this overlay started to meet in December. So we can say roughly December 2012. So roughly the calendar year 2013.
We got about 1 year of data to show whether the crime's been a problem, the parking's been a problem, and those kind of things.
Well, I think, people do, and we can go ahead and start talking about crime if you'd like, but really when you're looking at patterns, 1 year is too short of a time, for instance, to assess crime. You can get into kind of dangerous territory when you try to start making assumptions between two unrelated things. But what I say, and the reason I initiated this action, was because we really have a mixed message, and we need to be clear on our message, which is we want to encourage stability in the university neighborhood. It's right beside our university. It really is a very central place to our community, very central to many of us, whether we live there or not. It's also sort of the front door to the university. So we have two conflicting policies right now. We want to increase stability and home ownership in the university area, and yet at the same time we've got this other policy that is incentivizing and encouraging rental uses. So the reason I initiated this process was because we need to reconcile our message, because right now we've got conflicting policies. There is room for, a lot of folks say, well, this is just about one person. To be sure, one person isn't that important. There were issues with this policy from the start in terms of how it was devised, how the standards were set up for when you could have that fourth person. So what we need to do is back up. We need to re-examine the policy. We need to say if we're going to have a fourth person in a house, we need to have standards that make sense. We need to have, for instance, 1,500 square feet is a very small house. So what we need to do is just back up and look at it. The fourth person isn't a deal breaker.
1,500 square feet is the minimum square footage to have 4 bedrooms?
It is the minimum to have that fourth person now.
But now let me ask you this. The rule also is, though, that you must have 4 bedrooms to have 4 renters. Is that correct?
I believe that is the rule, but what you will see happening now is a living room that has a window and a closet and is called a bedroom. And there's no shortage of that.
Are students going to rent that?
Well, Henry, I've been a student. You've been a student.
I wouldn't have rented a closet to live in. I can tell you that, and I was as broke as anybody's ever been.
Another reason that I'm very interested in initiating us to re-examine this policy. Students are a very vulnerable population. They generally have a very limited income, and let's face it, they are in a vulnerable position where they are less likely to speak up and make demands because they really are in someone else's house. They are, subject to whatever that homeowner, the landlord, imposes on them. So I think it's really important to speak up for students who are vulnerable.
I want to get Jim in here and ask him something, but before Jim, just bear with me 1 second. I just want to, just in a sentence, can you tell me what the issue is with 4 people living in a house? What is the problem with that? What is the reason that you think that is a problem and you made the motion to kill that?
Well, it's not the fourth person. We can initiate other ways to look at occupancy. For instance, a special use permit that would allow a fourth person, where we can re-examine those standards. And I am not averse to a special use permit.
What problems do 4 people living in a home create?
Henry, in your neighborhood, what's the occupancy limit, for instance, in your neighborhood?
I think I don't really know the answer to that, but just like in this neighborhood, if there are 15 people that live in a family, they can live in any of these homes. They just can't. If they're not related, they can't.
Families generally act in certain sort of coherent ways. They're doing things together. They have a rhythm and a pace and a schedule that is very similar. When you start to put many unrelated people together, what happens is you have a fracturing of the dynamic. You have a lot of coming and going. You have parking. But what you also have is conditions that are not healthy for the renters.
But when you say that, Marion, it sounds like you're saying that the problem is the students, and we live in a university. Are you afraid that you're going to sound like you're against students in a community that is very driven economically by students?
I think it's real interesting that you say that. When I am a full-time student myself, I've lived in the university area for years. As a matter of fact, I had my wedding reception in the university community. So I am certainly very pro-students. I'm advocating for students to have good living conditions, that they get their deposits back, that the roofs don't leak, and the houses aren't falling apart around them. The only thing I'm saying about the fourth person is let's do it rationally and reasonably, and let's not just say we're going to do it in only one area. Let's look at, do we have a logical reason for it?
All right, Jim, that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff there. I want to give you a chance to respond. I see you taking notes over there. What's the argument to keep this at 4 unrelated people?
Well, thanks for having me here this morning, Henry. I need to correct one thing you said. I don't own any homes over there. I own apartments and duplexes. Okay, good. So this rule has... It doesn't affect you anyway, right? Doesn't affect me at all.
Yeah, so why are you arguing
Well, here's why I'm arguing. I believe in a safe, secure, strong, clean neighborhood over there. I moved back to Greenville in 2000 after spending 7 or 8 years in Washington, D.C. And I decided to start acquiring these properties over in the university area when things were really on the decline over there. So over the years, we've seen this progressive, positive rehabilitation, revitalization of Uptown, and I just believe in a really strong, vibrant center city, that whole area. So I moved back here and started a family, and this is a business for me. When the rule passed, I have seen an increase in better renters, more renter retention from the students. And the houses are just cleaning up. They're fixing them up. That fourth person adds about $6,000 per property a year to each individual property. That fourth person does. So that's a lot of money. I mean, you multiply that over, we got 44 houses that have been approved right now. I mean, that's a lot of money back into the university neighborhood. It's really interesting. You brought up something. You said, I was listening when we were out in the lobby. You said, we really haven't had enough data to see where we are on this yet. We have calculated about $5.5 million has been put into the university neighborhood in the last 18 months. That's a lot of money. That's a whole lot of money for one neighborhood. Crime is going down. As I said, rental retention's up. It's one interesting fact we're seeing is a lot of the students that left in 2006, 2007, 2008 to go to the big box, communities outside of Greenville.
The amusement parks.
The amusement parks. Well, the newness is worn off. Yeah. The newness is worn off.
So they want to walk to class.
They want to walk to class. They want to live close to what's going on uptown with Bianca's work and Tony Corey's work and Don Edwards. They want to be involved in what's going on in the local neighborhood. So we're seeing a big migration back toward the university neighborhood. And we understand, the students are the lifeblood of Greenville. I mean, look, I grew up in Greenville. It was a sleepy town in the 1980s before I left to go away from school. But it's changed a lot, and we've got to embrace that. ECU is the 15th fastest growing university in the United States right now. 15th fastest growing university in the United States, second largest in North Carolina. Now, you think about that tied right into that next to that neighborhood. I mean, that's just basic economics when you've got people that are going to want to live in that neighborhood.
Let me play devil's advocate with you like I did with Marion, though. Students party. Mm-hmm. They stay up late. They bring their friends over for the parties, and they park everywhere. And you have families that live in that neighborhood. So is that the essence of what we're talking about here? Is student behavior?
I think that my wife's a psychologist, so I know about the brain from 18 to 22. They don't make the best decisions sometimes. Students don't, but these are students, and they came here to go to East Carolina, and they're going to make decisions that probably aren't the best. But we all grow up, and I think that it's an interesting. I was looking at of how we got here, and the argument of how we got here and this whole process is really interesting because when I moved back to Greenville, I really didn't start paying close attention to the university area, and then as we started acquiring properties and and things started to progress. And when we had the election with Mayor Pat Dunn, I was under. I didn't really figure out how all this came about with UNRI, but it was my indication that the ECU Board of Trustees had a lot of concerns about the university area, and they were very concerned about the decline of the neighborhood. And so there was a vision statement sent over by either David Brody or Craig Souza about, we've got to do something about this neighborhood. It's on the decline. We're getting a lot of complaints from parents, from alumni. And so they put a vision statement in place, which went on to Pat Dunn, and the election occurred, and then Pat Dunn was defeated, and Mayor Alan Thomas came in. And my information says that Mayor Thomas was invited to go into the Truna neighborhood by Truna to get support for a recovery plan for the neighborhood. And so this was in January of 2012. So in January of 2012, Truna, Mayor Thomas, ECU sat down for a meeting, and that went from January to the spring to the fall. And there was, you're shaking your head, Marion, but you were aware of these meetings. And so I just wanted to make sure that let's not get hung up on details of when things particularly happen. I think the bottom line that you're trying to say, Jim, is that the university has had a concern about this neighborhood, and reasonably so. I mean, we've had some shootings over there. We've had some kids that have been assaulted. We've had home invasions. I know we even had an ECU baseball player over there shot a few years ago. And so, Marion, let me throw it back to you for some response to some of Jim's comments. And also, while I'm at it, let's talk about the issue. You mentioned home ownership. And I would ask both of you this question. Is it reasonable to expect, I mean, Greenville is not landlocked. We have many benefits here that a lot of communities don't. I lived in Chapel Hill for a few years, and people were just clamoring on trying to get on top of each other in Chapel Hill. In Greenville, we're growing in all directions. There's land to grow and area for Greenville to expand into. I was out at the new Walmart area this weekend. It's the first time I've driven out there since everything's been open. There's not just the Walmart, but strip centers, and I mean it's a beautiful project. But look at that area of town, and things are going out in that direction. They're going out down Highway 11. We're not landlocked, so people have options on where to buy homes. Are families? Is it a legitimate goal? A reasonable goal to think that area of Greenville was going to be an area where a man's going to buy a home and take his children and live in there these days?
It absolutely is. We're seeing throughout the country, and you can look in Raleigh and Charlotte, urban centers are growing. They're revitalized. People want to live in urban centers. I think Jim mentioned the work taking place in our downtown. People come in, they work at the university. We have a new Greenway segment that's going to go from the town common out to the hospital. You're going to be able to ride your bike to the hospital. We have lots of med students. We have lots of new doctors. So absolutely, this is an area that people are gravitating to. Regardless of trends, this is an area that is a delight to live in. I've spent a lot of time living there. Let's just sort of break it down, though. This city has about $2.4 billion in tax base, which is in single-family homes. That's very important. My goal in looking at this, in looking at what we're doing in the university community.
Let me get you to clarify that. You say it's in single-family homes. I mean, the people who own the rental homes pay taxes too.
Absolutely, and what we want to do is protect everyone's home values. We want to discourage any kind of an artificial inflation of property values. We want stable, long-term property values. I just want to go back to two things, though. Jim was talking about the ECU vision statement. The vision statement was approved by the City Council, and I believe it was in 2009. That was a very important document, and it does lay out some goals. Let's just go back, though, and be clear. East Carolina University opposed raising the occupancy limit to 4. When this initiative came out, ECU issued a statement opposing it. So what we need to do is...
The administration issued it, but there were several students that came out for it.
And
is that accurate?
Matt Paskey came and spoke. I know Matt. He's a good friend. I think that what often happens is that when there are interests that may be financial, it has allowed some people to think it's in their best interest as a renter. But let's be clear, as a renter, my best interest is to have a safe home that's well maintained, where I have enough room and I have enough area and I have enough parking to have a good quality of life. And that's very important. And then the rent should also be affordable. But when we're adding that fourth person and we're raising the rent another $400 a month, we've not reduced rent for anybody. We've just made for a tighter living space.
Jim, I want you to respond to that, and we got to get a commercial break in. Is this about greed? Is this about landlords wanting to make more money?
This is.
I mean, let's face it. These guys are in business. They want to make money.
Absolutely. Look, I'm here. There's no secret. I'm here representing a business interest. I'm a business person, and the business community got very squirrely last week when this amendment was brought up about amateurization. When you're talking about the 18 months where you would actually phase out the fourth person, that is a very big concern for them.
And let's break that down for people who don't understand it. Basically, what that would mean is if you've gone to the bank and borrowed money based on this duly passed law by the city of Greenville, but now you got to go to the bank and say, look, I'm sorry, but the city council changed this rule, and in 18 months, I'm not going to be able to make my payments.
That's correct. You're joint and several. You're joint and several. Your guarantee signed, and money's been loaned. Right. And you've got to honor that. So, but back to your question, no, we live in a capitalist society. I mean, really, if you look at the top money makers in Greenville, I would say real estate has to rank in the top 5. You got the university, the hospital, government, city government. So, I mean, everybody, this is it's tough to make a living in Eastern North Carolina, and real estate's a big part of it.
And it's big business in Greenville. Otherwise, they wouldn't keep putting 4 pools and things at these new apartment complexes on the outskirts of town. Great debate. Hang on. Let's take a break, take a breather, and we'll come back and get into some of the other issues on the 4 unrelated rule before the Greenville City Council right now. We got to take a break. Marion Blackburn from the Greenville City Council, local businessman Jim Blunt here debating that issue this morning. We'll be right back with more of that.
HomeFest 14 is coming up on March 1st at the Greenville Convention Center from 9 to 5. We have a new store in Greenville, and they're going to be at the Convention Center that day. This is Rob with Spine in Motion. So, Rob, I know you're excited to come out to the HomeFest and show everybody all the products at Spine in Motion. What will you guys be carrying at the show?
In the Spine in Motion booth, we're going to have inversion tables, massage chairs. I'm going to have zero-gravity recliners. I'm going to bring out some contour pillows, foam rollers, a lot of the smaller items that we carry just for general back and neck health.
So anybody that comes to your booth would be able to purchase some of these items as well as try them out and hopefully get some back pain relief that a lot of people have to deal with every single day. So come out to the HomeFest March 1st to look at the products that you can find at Spine in Motion.
Unlock the best life has to offer for generations to come. Introducing the Legacy membership exclusively at Ironwood Golf and Country Club. As a Legacy member, you'll not only enjoy all the benefits of an active, family-friendly lifestyle, your children and grandchildren will enjoy membership status as well. Belonging to Ironwood is remarkable. Sharing it with your entire family is even better. Become a Legacy member today, only at Ironwood Golf and Country Club. Golf at its finest, life at its fullest.
HomeFest 14 is coming up on March 1st at the Convention Center from 9 to 5. Charles Tudor, General Manager of Ferguson's, who's been in the show several years, is here today to tell us what you can see at HomeFest 14th. First of all, Charles, what do people shop for at Ferguson's?
We have a showroom there that displays our plumbing, lighting, and appliances. And if you're a homeowner or a builder and you're in the process of building or remodeling a house, you can come in and make decisions about the various plumbing, lighting, and appliances you might need for your new home.
And at HomeFest 14th, I'm assuming you're going to have a lot of those products out there.
Absolutely, yes. We're going to have some of the products on display, literature, and some of our associates there to answer and greet customers.
So come out to HomeFest 14th on March 1st from 9 to 5 at the Greenville Convention Center and see Ferguson's and many other businesses.
When
when you're on the go, it's Trade Wilco. No matter where you go in Eastern Carolina, there's sure to be an attractive and always clean Trade Wilco Hess station nearby. For the absolute lowest prices on gas, groceries, and travel necessities, stop at any of the Trade Wilco Hess stations throughout Eastern Carolina. Keep your eyes on the road, but remember to look for the green and white Hess sign. The best part? No one supports the ECU Pirates more. So when you're on the go, it's Trade Wilco.
All right, we're going to continue the discussion with Marion Blackburn and Jim Blunt here on the for unrelated repeal vote that was taken on Thursday night at the Greenville City Council. Again, thanks to Marion Blackburn, the 3rd District City Council person, and Jim Blunt, one of the folks that has an investment in that Tar River University neighborhood, this morning debating the merits or lack thereof of a for unrelated. Marion, let me go back to you again. The mayor is in this morning's Daily Reflector, and his comments are that, the fangs are out. And that there's obviously some very emotional and highly charged feelings between some of the members of the city council, and everybody's looking at this and saying, "Wow, has this become too personal? Is it going to affect what is done with the city?" And then they look at your agenda and they say, "Well, exactly what is Marion's agenda?" And people are beginning to say that there's an anti-business sentiment here by the city council, maybe even an anti-student sentiment here in a community. I threw the question out on Facebook last night, and most of the responses I got back were, "Why is the city council not working in the best interest of the students?" So the question that I have for you is, are you concerned that the city council is going to get an anti-business, anti-student reputation that's going to affect people wanting to come here?
Well, when I heard that, I was actually shocked, because I think that sometimes you can cry wolf and it can create a sense of distortion of what's really going on. So let's look at what's really going on. I'm a small business person. I have been for 20 years, self-employed. I also own my own house, so I've done the refinancing. I understand the nuts and bolts of finance and running a business. I also understand that you make business decisions. You have to do an environmental landscape and look at the conditions when you make those business decisions. So I am absolutely not small business. I'm not against in any way small business. As a matter of fact, I have encouraged the grants, our economic incentives, our uptown businesses, anything we can do to promote small business. Small business really is the backbone of our nation and our city. Now, as far as being, anti-student, I have been a student advocate. I've been a renter's advocate. That's probably what's gotten me in trouble, because I do speak up for students. I do speak up for renters. I want students to have safe housing that's repaired. I want students to get their deposits back. I want students to have fun and have a great quality of life, and I'm working hard for that.
Has that been a big issue over there? I mean, you can't roll that out there without following up with it. Are you saying that some of the landlords over there have not given back their deposits, have not kept up their properties and that kind of thing? That's a big part of this discussion.
It is routine for students and renters to not receive their deposits back. During last fall's campaign, I went to every single house in the 3rd District, and the conditions I saw were heartbreaking, literally. I saw homes that were rotting.
Let's let Jim respond to that.
Sure. When talking about the article in the paper, anti-business, it's interesting. That's the first time I've ever been in front of City Council last week, and I had an upward basketball game Saturday morning with my kids, and I rolled in, and I'm amazed how many people watch the City Council tapes. And 3 or 4 people came up to me and said,
"Well, the Olympics are on, so they're getting good ratings."
That's right. So anyway, I had several business folks come up to me when my kids were playing basketball, and saying, "Jim, this amateurization piece is scary. When you start taking money back away from people who've already invested in something, that's really scary." So that was one thing. And then talking about the anti-students, in this day and age, when I went to college, parents dropped me off and picked me up 4 years later. These parents these days are helicopter parents. They're asking questions about your property, the safety. We heard about the shootings uptown many years ago. Is this place safe? I have to look those parents in the eye when I sign a lease with them and say, yes, it is, and I'm going to take care of your kids. So there's a big investment, not only financially, but emotionally and personally with these students. Now, backing up, you asked about the poor living conditions. Yes, I mean there's bad landlords in every town. There's good landlords. There's bad lawyers, good doctors, bad doctors. I mean, that's part of every business. But our core group that's worked on this initiative has really worked hard to create some really nice properties. I mean, guys like Bob Dietrich and Bob Monticello and Jeff Tance, these guys are, they really take pride in their properties.
I don't want to run out of time.
Okay.
Marion, Jim has brought up the amortization thing a couple times. And with regard to that, your motion that did not pass was to try to stop this immediately. To even with the folks who have just signed leases with people, that you wanted them out of there in 18 months. Is that not accurate? You're shaking your head.
Well, I was shaking my head because 18 months is not immediate. Let me explain what my motion was. And I've been meeting with Jim and with some
not to interrupt you, but the other part of that while you're answering the question is, does it show an insensitivity to these guys that went and borrowed the money based on the fact that they could rent to 4 people? Now you can answer it.
I've been meeting with Jim and some other landlords. We've been talking. We have lots of common ground. My interest is in moving forward with the common ground. The 4th person in a house is not the deal breaker. Let's do it under reasonable circumstances. For instance, one possibility is a special use permit. We've agreed that 1,500 square feet is small. So let's back it up and let's do a rational set of guidelines. Now, the amortization was not anything except to say the permits that have been issued under the current circumstances, let's go ahead and begin looking at phasing those out while we phase in the new guidelines. And that was what I was trying to do. I also want to say that, the investments that have been made, how grateful we are as a city, how grateful I am because it's my district to see these investments. Folks like Jim, Dr. Dietrich, Jeff Tant, Bob Monticello, they have invested, and we're grateful for that. A lot of these investments, maybe most of them, would have been made anyway without the 4th person. When you look at the homes where the permit for the 4th person have been issued, most of those homes were purchased prior to the passage of this ordinance. So a lot of those improvements would have happened anyway. If we do phase out these current circumstances, even in the interim, you can continue to rent to that 4th person for the next year and a half. Hopefully we'll have a new set of circumstances in place so where you can continue with your business model, if that's what your business model is, and still have that 4th person.
All right, I want to close it out because we're out of time, but I want to give you both a chance. And we started with Marion, so Jim will start with you, and then Marion can finish up. It seems to me like you've got 2 different philosophies here. Marion says high density equals higher deterioration of the neighborhood. Your group is saying, Jim, allow us to rent to 4 students and we'll keep a bad element out of this neighborhood. It'll be students and all the problems that come with students, but at least we can keep the bad element that had started to infiltrate this neighborhood. Is that an accurate depiction? And if you would, both of you, give me about a 45-second wrap-up. Just start with Jim.
Yeah, I think that what the 4th person does is it creates an added revenue stream to that piece of property, which actually allows you to elevate the rent, which brings in better renters. And we are fleshing out. There's been gang activity over there, which is fleshing out now. Our core group is actually putting together an acquisitions team to buy distressed properties on Mead, Willow, and Stancil that have had gang activity there. So it does add a revenue stream. We believe in a clean, safe neighborhood. The 4th person has added investment to that process. We're at $5.5 million in about 18 months in the area, which is a tremendous amount of money, tremendous amount of capital to add into an area. And we feel that the process should be continued. My goal would be to keep the overlay in place for another 12 months. I think Rick Croskery was the deciding vote to keep that amortization piece. I think he understands the business side of things a little better than some of the other council members. We need to get Marion's
last comment. Marion, why not wait a while? What's the rush to do this? Give us your last comments here.
I think that we have a bit of a mess that was begun because this policy was not crafted in a reasonable, rational way. Let's step back Let's say if this is a direction we want to go, let's apply some good thinking to it, and let's come up with a better policy. I want to continue working with landlords. These engaged landlords are doing a great job, so I want to continue to work with them. This is a city issue, however, and we need to look at it, and we need to make sure it is the best policy moving forward. Make sure we're encouraging stability and long-term property values and home ownership while we make sure that our students have a great, safe place to live.
All right, we have to leave it there. Great debate, great conversation. It will continue. Now the process will go to the planning and zoning. Planning and zoning will either pass it or deny it, and it'll come back to the Greenville City Council one way or the other, and then we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. So thanks to Marion Blackburn for being here, and also to Jim Blunt. And they're shaking hands, ladies and gentlemen. Great
no,
conversation.
We're friends. We've been friends prior to this.
Great conversation. And again, more on this coming up on Wednesday night at 6:30 on our local community issues program, Greenville Grit, right here on 103.7 and on Cable 7. All right, we got to get a break in. McGee's back with sports after this.
HomeFest 14 is coming up on March 1st at the Greenville Convention Center. One of our business is Stalling Storage, who's also one of our sponsors for the Dream Kitchen giveaway. So you'll have a mobile unit. The winner will have a mobile unit coming to their home to help store the items for the winner. Eddie, what will you see at your booth for HomeFest 14?
Well, we'll physically have a unit on premises, an 8x15, the large unit that we rent mostly. My manager, Buddy Boyd, will be there. He'll be able to explain to you what you can put in it, how it works. But in essence, we sell convenience. We'll bring it to your site, allow you to fill it, either bring it back and store it or leave it on your site and then bring it back when you're empty. So that's what we sell. We also have mini storage units from various sizes. So that's what we have to offer, and it'll be on display at the Home Fest.
Perfect. So come out to HomeFest 14 on March 1st from 9 to 5, and you can visit with Eddie Stallings and other businesses at HomeFest 14.
At the law firm of Hardy & Hardy, we don't simply take cases. We take your case personally.
I've been in several car accidents, and each time I've turned to Hardy & Hardy for help. They are honest, hardworking, and dependable. I've been satisfied with the conclusion of each case, and I would recommend Wayne and Charles Hardy to my family and friends.
You matter to us.
Protecting the rights of the seriously injured.
Tax time is new car time at Greenville Toyota. Bring us your tax refund and we'll match your refund up to $4,000 towards a new Toyota. That's right, if you've got a refund, you've got a down payment and we'll match it up to $4,000. Your $4,000 becomes $8,000 with the Greenville Toyota match. Need credit? Come see us. Our goal is 100% credit approval. And who will give you more for your trade? Guaranteed? Greenville Toyota. Plus, with the Greenville Toyota Advantage, you save money and time. Use your tax refund as your down payment because tax time is new car time at Greenville Toyota.
Join the Pirates this season as baseball and softball swing for the fences in their last CUSA season. An action-packed baseball season ticket starts at $100 and features Ohio State plus in-state rivals NC State and North Carolina. Your $30 softball season ticket includes 7 series and is the best deal in town. Order your season ticket today by calling 800-DIAL-ECU or visit ECUPirates.com. Join us at the ballpark this spring at ECU.
From Out of Sight.
Sorry.
Oh, hey, and check out that new look from Pepsi.
I don't know why, but today I feel a little bit different. I feel like I woke up this morning and I can change the world. I can change the world. I guess it's true, yeah.
When you're on the go, it's Trade Wilco. No matter where you go in Eastern Carolina, there's sure to be an attractive and always clean Trade Wilco Hess station nearby. For the absolute lowest prices on gas, groceries, and travel necessities, stop at any of the Trade Wilco Hess stations throughout Eastern Carolina. Keep your eyes on the road, but remember to look for the green and white Hess sign. The best
103.7 WTIB Sports Update.
4-2, they pick up the series win now, 2-1 on the year. Hosts Campbell Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock. Bubba Watson, a winner at the Northern Trust Open, and Bodie Miller, the oldest now Olympic alpine medalist after capturing bronze on Sunday. Hen?
That's the quickest sportscast you've ever done.
Now you got 5 seconds, right?
No, I got.
You said 57:40.
I got 13 seconds. All right, everybody. I meant 57:50. All right. Thanks again to our debaters this morning on 4 Unrelated, and we will see you back here tomorrow on Talk of the Town.
Our Dream Kitchen giveaway sponsors for the granite or marble countertops. So Rodney and Jenny are here, and they're going to tell us what you can see at their booth at Home Fest 14. Hi, guys.
Hey, we fabricate and install granite, quartz, and marble countertops, and at our booth we'll have samples of our material, the different colors, and we'll have displays there and photos of previous jobs we've done. And if you'd like to bring your floor plan in or your cabinet layout, we can do a quick quote for you while you walk around. And just looking forward to being there.
Stop by the Aspen Tops booth at Home Fest 14 on March 1st from 9 to 5.
Welcome to Truck Month at East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Lease the new 2014 Ram 1500 for just $199 a month. East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep across from the Cracker Barrel in Greenville.
Stallings Mobile and Mini Storage Company will deliver a storage unit to your home or business today. Stallings Storage is the only local company providing mobile storage units 8x15 or 8x10 delivered to your site. If you are remodeling your home or office or need to store merchandise and inventory at your business, you need to call Stallings Mobile and Mini Storage. We deliver, pick up, and store it for you. It's that easy, and there's no need to send your business out of town when your mobile storage needs can be met right here with people you know. Stallings Mobile and Mini Storage is located in Pitt County on Beast Oaks Road. It's a well-secured facility with a live-in manager. Fixed units range from 5 feet by 10 feet to 40 feet by 40 feet. We store boats, cars, anything you need. We are pirate supporting pirates. Call Stallings Mobile and Mini Storage today at 321-2300. That's 321-2300.
When you're on the go, it's Trade Wilco. No matter where you go in Eastern Carolina, there's sure to be an attractive and always clean Trade Wilco Hess station nearby. For the absolute lowest prices on gas, groceries, and travel necessities, stop at any of the Trade Wilco Hess stations throughout Eastern Carolina. Keep your eyes on the road, but remember to look for the green and white Hess sign. The best part? No one supports the ECU Pirates more. So when you're on the go, it's Trade Wilco.
Come see Eastern North Carolina's largest selection of Jeeps here at East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Drive the all-new 2014 Jeep Grand Cherokee for just $349 a month. East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep across from the Cracker Barrel in Greenville.